Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, Sarava Shakti, Sarava Shakti, Sarava Shakti, Namo Namo, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Pritam Bhagavati, Namo Namo, Kundalini, Mata Shakti, Mata Shakti, Namo Namo. Hello, I am here to drop in with you for day 3 of Panchakarma, and Shakti was just wanting to come through to open up our ability to soften and lean into those places where we'll be doing a lot of our cord cutting work. But there's this need first to kind of allow ourselves to unfurl open. You know, a lot of times people speak of it as cracking open. And sometimes we are cracked open, but this is more of a gentle opening, a softening opening. Ted's agreeing. Ted just shook his head yes. It's more that when the lotus flower first starts to unfurl its petals, there's a lot about this Panchakarma being about integration work and the closing of the circle for what has actually been a really long healing process for you. And it's also this piece of generational healing within the lineage, ancestors coming forward really strongly today. I actually had a very interesting interaction with a cardinal, this bright red cardinal, right outside the window where I do the readings here. And it just kept swooping by the window and saying hi to me, even flew directly toward the window and then swooped up last moment. And cardinal totem is all about messages from spirit, in particular, those who have come before us, our ancestors, those who are already evolved to the next layer of reality, whatever that looks like. The next layer of our experience. It's interesting. We think of death and we leave this body, and Lady Death came in for me today, okay? Santa Muerte energy came in for me today, because I know the work that we're doing right now, we're dropping in, we're getting things to soften, we're getting things to open, we're getting the lymph moving. This is just the initial, tenderizing, shall we say, for the cracking open work that will really come in on the next 10-day cycle. Okay, so it's almost like there's this wanting there to be this place of readiness inside to really greet that work. It's almost like we're getting it out by the root this go around. No little last bits left, no loose ends dangling. We're really pulling this out by the roots. And when we're looking at roots as far as going back in the bloodline and looking at the inherited patterns, the inherited karma of our lineage, and affecting healing even through the bloodline, through the ancestry, and for future generations to come, by really integrating this core lesson. It's a really potent energy coming through. And I think ancestral healing, this piece about understanding the connectedness of it all, past, present, future, how time is really just this belief construct. And when we really look at the great expansiveness of energy, there are no limitations. It's all occurring simultaneously, really. You know, it's like mind-blowing stuff. It makes me think of the autobiography of a yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda, and he talks about being visited by his teacher, Sri Yukteswar, after Sri Yukteswar passed on and ascended. And he came to him and explained what happens after death, and the way that reality is sort of structured. And he described it as layers upon layers upon layers of reality, almost like stacked, like some cosmic lasagna. And it's fascinating because down the road, you know, where we are now, quantum physics, you know, has gone on in this regard to expand on this original idea that came through a yogi, you know, this concept that it's not a universe, it's a multiverse, and there's multiple dimensions of reality, and they're all occurring simultaneously. So when we really look at it from that broad of a perspective, it makes us realize the power of our choices, the power of our actions. And when we take up healing work, even if it seems like it's something just on the most superficial of levels, it's really the one thing that we can do that can create transformation, not just in our own lives, but for the collective whole of all totality. It's pretty mind-blowing if you really tap into that unity consciousness. And I mean, this is the heart. It's the heart of Ayurveda, this all one energy, you know, this all one energy. Really, really powerful messages coming through today, and this need to get tapped into your roots, you know, to remember your ancestors. If you don't know about your ancestors, if there's much that remains a mystery to you, I encourage you throughout this 40-day Panchakarma to open up to the exploration of that. It seems to be a big piece that's coming in. Learn about your ancestors, learn about their struggles, learn about their successes, learn about their hopes, their dreams, and their losses, their grief, all of it. Learn their stories, learn the history of your bloodline, you know, really take it in. It's going to open up something inside of you. Something's going to come forward. This is what I'm getting coming through very strongly today. This piece really wanted to come in, as well as the Shakti energy, which is the counterpart to, you know, my dude Shiva here. I love Shiva. Shiva is so much about the unconventional, you know, the eccentric, the one who marches to the beat of their own drum, you know, that's Shiva all the way. And I love Shiva. I love Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 I love Shiva, and we need him too, right? Like Shiva is the avenue. Shiva is the avenue that provides the way for Shakti to come on through. It's that creative force. So there's really this like unification piece coming in here. I feel like some of the people going through this Panchakarma also are already in a process of awakening the Kundalini, stirring the Kundalini. There's so much of this coming through, this transformational energy, that unification of the Shiva, the Shakti within the Ida, the Pingala, and this raising up you know, from those lower chakras into the upper chakras. We're going to get into all of it on this journey, and this is the piece that wanted to come through. But there's a lot of this almost like rewiring, you know, rewiring the system, rewiring the energy body, and the need to clear some samskaras. And samskaras are like psychic. I like to relay them to people's like psychic wounds, and there are karma, okay? They're the things we carry within us, within our energy body, the things that kind of have us going over old loops like skips in a record, and this absolutely happens generationally. This is why you'll often, 10:44 on the clock when I said this, it's why you'll look back at your family's history and you'll notice a pattern. You know, you'll notice a pattern, kind of this like same old story sort of running through your bloodline, and how it's mirrored in your present reality. And this is all related to that like karmic inheritance, the karmic inheritance of your ancestry, of your bloodline. And so we're going to be doing a lot of work around this. So I really encourage you, make some space to connect with your ancestors, maybe even put up an ancestral altar, you know, just like it can even be as simple as a shelf, where you know, put up some mementos of your ancestors, some pictures. It's nice to have like a candle there to just sort of light that candle and call in the light around your ancestors. Nice to also have a glass of water on your altar there, just to hold that spirit of, as they nourish you, you know, as they feed you with their support, with their essence, with their stories, that you're also, you know, ensuring that they never thirst. It's a symbolic offering of the connection we have with our ancestors and with future generations to come, you know. There's a lot of this energy coming through, so please, you know, make some space for this, because it's going to be very valuable when it comes to that work that we're going to be doing on the next 10-day cycle, which will be all about cutting the cords, actually, you know, pulling things out by the root and doing that cracking open in this really more intensive clearing. A lot coming in, okay? A lot coming in. And a lot moving. I finally got my lymph feeling like it's starting to move. I was able to have a good cry, kind of clear some energy earlier, which felt really good. It felt really good. It also made me realize how much that's been kind of like draining my system, you know, holding on to like old grief. Yeah, it drains the system, huh, Ted? Yeah. So I wanted to pull from the Kali Oracle today, and I just wanted to pull a card that will bring a message in. But since I'm on this topic of clearing grief, it's also going to be very important as we open everything up. What, Ted? What do you need? What do you need? Do you have something to contribute? Do you need to go outside? Yeah? Hold on. Okay. He always has to have his moment anytime I do a video. I've just learned it's Ted's way, and that's okay. So, like I was saying, about moving that grief, it's going to be really important to get the lungs to open up and expand. You know, we want to invite in this openness, this expansion. So important also for being able to take in oxygen, to breathe deeply. We will be going over some different like pranayamas, some different breath work that you can do to support your process, as we already introduced this week. I'm going to be bringing in all kinds of Ayurvedic self-care methods, yogic healing tools, and we'll be diving into all of it. So Steam inhalations are something that's really wonderful for just starting to get the whole upper channels opened up, get everything kind of decongested, move some ama, like mucus, stuck stuff that might be holding in the lungs. And a lot of times when we have that constriction in the lungs, there's things that need to be cleared.